Thanks for joining us. We're talking about buyer's remorse and the digital downgrade. The cycle so many of us have gone through.
Sounds horrible.
It does sound horrible. It's like a bad case of the itchies. I don't know. So what we're getting at is, besides the itchies, is so many people have, just to sort of live in this modern digital world we live in, have sort of sold a lot of their tube amps and their gear, their stomp boxes maybe. Why are you saying no?
That's my judgment on those people.
You're just like stepdad. And they say, ain't my blood. And they've entered the world of like all the effects units, like the Kempers and the Helixes, and just digital straight in the box, maybe even straight into your computer even, and just calling it a day. But then there's been this realization, I think, for a lot of folks, it ain't the same.
It's not the same.
Is it?
No.
Okay. Well, that's going to be something we discuss for a few minutes today.
I've got one of the little thingies.
You do have one of the thingies, don't you?
But did I sell my amps or my pedals? No, I did not.
Why not?
Because that would suck.
That would suck.
That would be stupid. I don't know, because it didn't, I don't know. I did a whole dumb video on my own little channel about it, but
that's cute how you just downgraded your entire self.
That's true.
I enjoyed that. My dumb little channell. Yeah, check out Jonathan Robinson.
My ridiculous channel.
If you want to see something dumb and little.
That's right, dumb and little.
Jonathan.
It's perfect. I just, my intention, I think those things have a place, right? Practicing at home with headphones, fantastic. Acoustic gigs, awesome. Do you know what I mean? Like every now and again, maybe there's some situation where it has to be a silent stage or you have to fly. Cool. But the majority of my gigs, I want my amps, my big old glowy tubes in the back of them.
And I think that's something that we've sort of seen, like a lot of guys. I know a lot of guys that have sort of endless money to buy this stuff too.
Sure.
Like they've all done it, and it is so much fun. Like there's nothing not fun about having every amp at your fingertips in this digital package.
It's fun to play around with it at night. You know what I mean? It really is. Like it is fun, but it's still not the same.
I know. I found almost all these guys I know and talk to, that they eventually all come back to an amplifier.
At least to have one, right?
Well, yeah. Don't sell them, because you should have both. If you have the financial ability and the means, get them all. It's fun. It's a fun world we live in. Like, I'm not doing it just because I'm just lazy. I just don't want to learn all that stuff. I want to plug in, click on, click standby off, and go. I don't even do pedals.
Where it's a little bit unique too, though, right? Because you come in a guitar shop and not worry about, your kids in the next door bedroom or whatever. Like you could come in here and play at pretty good volume.
I don't worry about my kids in the bedroom anyway.
Screw them.
They're used to growing up with noise. They live next to a train station, and there's hip hop below them for a little bit, for a while, and then there's music all over the place. So
That's actually a good parenting tip. Like, don't be quiet around your kids when they're babies.
No, I wasn't.
Be normal, and then they'll just learn to be they'll sleep no matter what, and it'll be fantastic. When you're crazy, shh, quiet.
So we're gonna have parenting tips from Johnny and Bax for a minute, right? Yeah, that's a great piece of advice.
Most things we're not qualified or even good role models to say about, but that we've.
If they're on fire, try to put it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Try to. My one kid tried to kill himself the other day by pulling the massively heavy mirror off the wall. And I can't believe he still has his feet and toes and legs.
When you told me that, dude.
It was so, we still have this destroyed part of our house right now, but
my heart dropped. This is.
I thought I was going to turn on, there's going to be blood everywhere.
I don't know how he didn't get cut all to pieces.
Just his legs gone. He pulled a huge mirror and it shattered. It's the loudest shotgun went off in the apartment. But anyway, so yeah, don't let kids do that either. This was attached to the wall too. It wasn't just hanging. My kid's an idiot. Anyway, so it's been a strange journey for a lot of folks, and a very expensive one.
Well, I think that's the thing, right? Like, I do know a lot of folks who this is the greatest thing ever, going all digital, and they love it. Maybe even for a year or two, but eventually.
Dude, even our guy Zach Person, he did all that stuff. He was doing, I think, Helix 100% for a bit, then. He's a killer guitar player, and I was like, bro, you gotta stop.
And he's playing huge, big shows. You know what I mean?
For thousands of people, and I was like, it's so easy though, because he's flying a lot. I get it.
I totally get that. I do.
I was like, man, you gotta have an amp. You can't. It's just it's gonna affect your playing. And you're known as a guitar guy. So he's like, yeah, you're probably right. He's young. He's in his 20s, young 20s.
I mean, I know a lot of the major, big acts tour now are using that, like Axe Effects or Kempers or whatever. But
And it does make more sense. It's logic. I know this is hard for you, logic.
I know. What?
I don't like that.
I like to carry big, heavy things. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, the financial loss is what we've seen a lot of cats do too, when they sell all their stuff, sort of at a good loss sometimes. Buy all this other digital stuff at new prices, which is expensive, and then when you sell that stuff, you get crushed.
That's the thing. You don't have the
eviscerated.
resale,
Because the newest one is the only valuable one. Generation 1 is trash to a lot of cats because they want the newest bells and whistles.
Well, of course. Because it's whatever the newest one is the one that we've done it with, just like a tube amp. There's no discernible difference. I'm sure we'll have plenty of that in the comments. And listening to it over a PA or listening to it, I've even used mine to do some tracks like recording, and yeah, it sounds pretty.
God, when I do tracking, I've done straight in the box a lot because it's so much easier to get to mic a guitar amp to sound right. It's a whole different thing. Now I'm just talking just for the pure visceral playing joy of it. It's hard to beat an amp. Volume wise, it's tricky to get that equilibrium
right
to where you can choose it.
Yeah,
but that's what master volumes are for.
But a sound guy told me the other day that it was fine using the Helix whatever live, like he can mix it and he can mix amps, but he had a really hard time blending it. Like if one person was using an amp, one person was using a Helix, he had a hard time. They didn't.
That's funny. I never thought of that.
Blend the same, right? Like it was just different,
Well, there's like an iciness and a clarity to the Helix type of processing, and it's an immediate hit, even with like a sort of false built-in sag. It still has this different cut through.
It is different, right? Like I think it's a bit different than that. I mean, people say it's like just like a mic.
I don't know. Oh, dude, sometimes it's better. Than the mic amp, because we've all done recordings where we go and record. Our amp sounds great, and you go in this room.
Oh, it's horrible. Well, yeah, because there is a technique and there's an art to micing an amp and making it sound like it did in the room, or a good sound, a pleasant sound, right? So,
let us know your journey with this. If you've done this, if you've been happy with it, if you're like, or if you're not even interested in doing it.
Maybe you're happy, but you're just in that first year. Give it a few months. You'll be back to the old tubes. Don't you worry.
It is weird, like that technology we use is so old. It's so old. Like, why are we still doing it? Like, I still just plug in my little 2-rock and
there's just something about it, man. The way it reacts, everything about it is we've become used to.
I guess so. So I guess if we do enough of the digital, we can delete.
I almost think it'll be sort of like genre specific at some point. Like, if you're playing like improvised bluesy stuff, something about that tactile sort of feedback of having the tube amp.
We do want to do a video, I think, where we take all pedal effects and just use that like a pedal sort of processor as the amps for the blues jam. I think that'd be fun.
We've talked about that, like just plugging in those UA pedals, and,
I think that'd be kind of cool.
And that's all you get, and that's what everybody gets. Because the problem at the blues jam, right, is you keep getting different guitars, different pickups. Some are hot, some are low. Some guys are really heavy-handed, some guys are not. Some guys turn the volume down. And then people start messing with the amps, and then it's just like pandemonium.
Once the first act is over, it's a cluster. That's what's fun. It's a cluster truck.
Sometimes the first act is too. Who knows? Can't go either way. That's the joy of the blues jam.
Usually it is. Come on down, kids.
Come on down.
So let us know your thoughts. Also, I don't know, Johnny, why don't you take us home here?
Don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe. Most importantly, hit the good old bell.
There you go. I think that says it all.
That's it.
And share your stories. We're curious to hear them. Thanks for joining us.
Buy your modelers. Don't sell your amps.
Don't sell them.
Buy, don't sell.
Just hang on to them.
You're going to want it. You're going to want it. Trust us. All right. See you next time.